Hi everyone, welcome back to Crochet Tutorials. In this video we are going to make one of my favourite squares, the Victorian lattice square. This pattern is an absolute triumph of crochet design. It manages to be visually extraordinarily interesting with all this lovely lattice work, but at the same time it's actually really easy to crochet. Now I will mention it was actually written by the very talented Destany Wymore, and it is a free crochet pattern. So I will put a link in the description box to the Ravelry page where you can download this pattern, and I would recommend you do so because it is, it is difficult to learn by rote exactly what to do every round. It is only 9 rounds, but certainly there's different chains and different amounts of double crochets you have to put in here and there, and it does take a little while to remember. So having the written pattern with you will definitely assist with that. The written pattern is one page. You can print it off on one page. It's actually page 2 of the pattern, and it's great to have with you and follow along with this tutorial, and that will help you learn to read patterns if you're unsure how to do that. It is, as I say, just this wonderful square with all this lace work and so easy to crochet. I have made this particular square in a number 4 yarn, so a worsted weight yarn, and that actually ends up with a square of about 8 inches. Just to show you this one, I made this one it is a 10 ply, and so it is a slightly heavier worsted weight. It would probably be somewhere between a 4 and a 5, but that actually creates a square of 9 inches. But whatever you make it with, whether you make it with a lighter weight yarn or a worsted weight yarn, you are going to end up with a wonderful looking square. Here's a couple of other colours that I've made just to show you, but it doesn't matter what colour you make this in, it looks fantastic in every colour. So this is, as you can see, I am really quite excited because it is one of my favourite squares that are out there, and simply because it is easy to make, but it is such an impact square. So let's get started making the Victorian lattice square. Okay, so for this pattern, I am going to be following the written pattern. If you have downloaded it, then follow along with me. I'm going to be using a 10 ply yarn, which means that I'll end up with a 9-inch square like this white one that I'd made. With that, I'll be using a 5.5mm hook. You obviously can match your hook to your yarn, and whatever you work with comfortably, that's absolutely fine. The pattern does call for a magic ring or a magic circle or a magic loop. If you're not comfortable with the magic ring, you can chain 4 and join with a slip stitch to your first chain, making a loop and then crocheting all into that loop. However, the magic ring is a useful tool, so I'm going to use the magic ring. You will find that if you use the chain method to make your initial circle, you will end up with a hole in the middle here, which I don't think is a massive deal given the laciness of the square. But the magic ring is really quite easy to make. So lay the tail of your yarn across your hand like this and just wrap it around those 3 fingers. And then come across the top and cross it over so you've got an X on top of your fingers, and then bring in your hook and grab the back yarn and drag it under that first one and just turn the hook so you've got a loop on your hook like that. And I take this opportunity to just chain 1 with the working yarn. So, I've pulled that quite tight. There we go. And that is a really solid magic ring, and essentially I've already chained 1. So the pattern actually asks you to chain 4, and that will count as 1 double crochet or a treble crochet if you know it as that using the UK terminology, and a chain 1. So because I've already chained 1, I'm just going to chain 3 here, and that essentially is a chain 4. And then we need to double crochet or treble crochet, whatever you refer to it as, into the ring 12 times and separate all of those with a chain 1. So a double crochet, you yarn over and go into the ring, yarn over and pull up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, and then chain 1. So that's 2 that we've got. We need 12. So I'm just going to get those completed. And we need to remember to chain 1 between all of our stitches, because that forms our central hub. And we are going to be crocheting into those chain 1 spaces in the next round. So I tend not to count as I go here when I do these 12. I just sort of pop a few in, and then when I think, oh, maybe that's about 12, come back and count them. So what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2 more. 11, chain 1, 12, chain 1. Don't forget to chain 1 at the end. And then all we do is pull on the tail of our yarn and close that magic ring. And then join with a slip stitch to the 3rd chain up. So I know that this is my chain 1 between the double crochets. So that is my 3rd chain, and that is our first round. Now, all the way through this pattern, Destiny has made it so when we normally chain whatever to get to the next level, maybe we'll chain 3, or depending on your stitch, but certainly with double crochet you normally chain 3. Destiny has made it so you will actually chain or do a single crochet and then chain 1, and it's actually really quite a clever way of avoiding the chain 3, the really visible chain 3 up across your square. Because this is so lacy and there's so much interest in the square, you kind of don't want that ugly trail of chain 3s that you can see on a lot of crochet. So what she has done is made it a single crochet and a chain 1, and whenever we then join to that at the end of a round, we're actually joining in that chain 1, and I'll show you what I mean. In this round we are actually going to be using a double crochet 2 together, which is 2 double crochets essentially crocheted together, and it's not a difficult stitch, but it can be a little bit unusual if you've never crocheted it before. What I do is slip stitch into this next chain 1 space just to get myself in the correct position to perform this, and then we do the single crochet and the chain 1, which will be repeated throughout this pattern as the way to get to the next stitch, the height of the next stitch. So in this case we just put in another double crochet in that chain 1 space, and that is our first double crochet 2 together. When we come back, if you can see here, I don't know if that's focusing, but when we come back we're going to actually join into this chain, the chain 1 that we made. So then we are going to chain 2 and put a double crochet 2 together into the next chain space. So that stitch works the same as a double crochet. We yarn over, go into the stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, but then we yarn over and pull through 2 and stop there, and yarn over again, back into the stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. Got 4 loops on the hook now, yarn over and pull through 2, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 of those loops, and that is 2 double crochets together. And so chain 2 again, and we're going to do this into every chain 1 space. So 3 loops on the hook and pull through all 3 and chain 2. So as we would with a normal double crochet, but instead of completing the stitch here, we're just going to yarn over again, go back into the stitch and yarn over, pull through 2, and then we end up with 3 loops on the hook and 2 half stitches there and complete the stitch. So we need to do that in every chain 1 space, separating them by a chain 2 every time. So double crochet 2 together, chain 2, double crochet 2 together, oh, not that loop, and a chain 2, little bits of dust, and keep going around with our double crochet 2 together. I love the crocheted together stitches. They are just a wonderful stitch and certainly add a lot of interest to any crochet round. Chain 2 in between every time, and we're almost there. Chain 2. This is my final double crochet 2 together. Remember to chain 2 at the end, and as I mentioned earlier, this, I'll take this out, this here is our single crochet that we did at the beginning of this round, and right above it you can see is a chain 1, and that is where we're going to join for every round, always into that chain 1. And you'll see when we do, the joining it actually pulls it up and it looks no different to the other stitches around in that round. And I think it's an extraordinarily clever way of getting to the height of the stitch and joining at the end of the round. Okay, so this is round 3, and in round 3 we're going to put in our basis for our lace work, so these big corners and these initial lacy pieces. So what we'll need to do is single crochet into this first chain space. So I just like to slip stitch into or across to that chain space just by slip stitching into the top of that stitch and then straight into the space, and then single crochet back into that space. And then we need to chain 7, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and single crochet into the very next chain space, and crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and again single crochet into that next chain space. And then again we're going to chain 3, single crochet into the next chain space, and chain 7 again. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you guessed it, single crochet into the next chain space. So that's our repeat, and what happens is these two big chain spaces will form the corners, and these little chain threes are the sides. So again, we've just chained 7, so we need to chain 3, single crochet into that chain space, chain 3 again, single crochet into the next chain space, and chain 7. 5, 6 and 7, and single crochet into the very next chain space, chain 3, single crochet, chain 3 again, single crochet, chain 7 for our final corner, 6 and 7, single crochet, chain 3, single crochet, chain 3, and then we are going to join into this single crochet, because we didn't single crochet and chain 1 for this because we went straight into a chain 7. So we're just going to join into the top of this single crochet that we put in the beginning of the round, and just join with a slip stitch. And that is what your square should look like so far. It's got these little ears, and they form really the start of the pattern, but of course they are the corners. It's these chain 3 spaces where the lattice actually comes out from. So that's round 3. Round 4, we need to get into this next chain 7 space. So our first chain space, I'm just going to slip stitch into there, and we're going to single crochet and chain 1, and that will count as our first double crochet. And then we're going to put in 4 more double crochet, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and we're going to chain 3, and we always will for the corners now, chain 3, and then put 5 more double crochet into that same chain space, 3, 4 and 5. And then we are going to single crochet into the next chain 3 loop and chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, single crochet into the next chain 3 loop and put 5 double crochets, 2, 3, 4 and 5, a chain 3 and 5 more double crochets, all into our chain 7 space, and effectively we are making the corner. 5. Then that's our repeat. So we're just going to single crochet into this first chain 3 space, chain 4, single crochet into the next chain 3 space, and put in our corner, 5 double crochet, 3, 4 and 5, a chain 3 and 5 more double crochet. again we're single crocheting into the chain 3 space, chaining 4, and single crocheting into the next chain 3 space. And we have one more corner to do with 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, a chain 3, and 5 more double crochets. Three, 4, and 5. Single crocheting into the chain 3 space, chaining 4, and single crocheting in our final chain 3 space. So then we need just to find this single crochet and chain 1, and you can see it there. There's our single crochet and there's the chain 1. So all we need to do is pop into that chain 1 and slip stitch to join. And you can see that it is such a neat way of coming up to the next level. You don't even notice that that's only a single crochet and a chain 1. So that is the end of round 4, and your square should look like this. We'll give it a little stretch. It is kind of almost butterfly looking, isn't it? Now in the next rounds, what we're going to do is we're going to be working across the tops of the stitches and also creating new lattice work in the middle here. So the pattern asks us to single crochet in the next double crochet, chain 1. So that is this one here. So we just go directly, see we've just joined here, and we're going to go directly into this next stitch here. So single crochet in there and chain 1 as we do in this clever little method, and then double crochet into the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. And then the pattern will ask us to put in 2 double crochet, a chain 3, and 2 double crochet in the corner. So 2 double crochet, a chain 3, and 2 more double crochet. Oh, hello. That one went sideways, didn't it? 2 more double crochet in that corner. And then we need to double crochet in the next 4 stitches. Now don't forget this little stitch here, because it kind of might try and hide the place where you need to put your stitch, might try and hide under these double crochets you've just put in the corner. But we need to make sure that this stitch gets a stitch. So we're going to double crochet in the next 4. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to then skip this stitch, this final stitch, and chain, where are we? Chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to single crochet in this loop here, and in the pattern it says single crochet in the chain 3 loop, and I think that's just a typo because this is a chain 4. So we're going to single crochet into there, chain 4 again, and then we are going to skip this first stitch because we skipped the last stitch on this side, and double crochet into the next 4 stitches. 2, 3, and 4. and that's our repeat. So then we need to put in our 2 double crochet in the corner, 2 double crochet, a chain 3, and 2 more double crochet, double crochet, I almost said single crochet, double crochet into the next 4 stitches, not forgetting this little one here. Don't forget him, he's pretty special. They're all special, aren't they? 2, 3, and 4. Skipping this stitch here, we're going to chain 4, single crochet into that chain space, chain 4 again, get some more yarn, skip our first stitch here and double crochet into the next 4 stitches. And 4. And pop in our corner, 2 double crochet, oh hello, 2 double crochet, a chain 3, and 2 more double crochet. It's the same for the next side, double crochet in the next 4 stitches, 3 and 4, skip the 5th, chain 4, single crochet into this chain space, chain 4 again because we love symmetry, and skip the first stitch here and double crochet into the next 4 stitches, 3 and 4. Pop in our corner, 2 double crochet, a chain 3, and 2 more double crochet, double crochet in the next 4 stitches, 3 and 4, skip the 5th stitch, chain 4, single crochet into that chain space, chain 4 again, and now we are back where we started and we're joining once again to this single crochet and the chain 1. So we're joining into the top of that chain 1. And your square should look like this. So you can see that we're building with those chain 4s we put in every side, we're building the lattice up. So that was round 5, and it's a quite, nothing changes now, there's no difficult stitches. It is a really easy square, as I said in the beginning. So for this next round, for round 6, we need to slip stitch into the next stitch. So we're here at our join where we join to our chain 1, and so we need to slip stitch into this next stitch. And that's essentially because we're going to be skipping those 2 stitches for every side of this round, and I'll show you what I mean. We need to single crochet into this next stitch and chain 1, which of course counts as our double crochet, and then double crochet into the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. We need to pop in our corner, which is 2 double crochets, a chain 3, and 2 more double crochets, and then we are going to double crochet in the next 4 stitches. So not forgetting our little friend here that's trying to hide. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to skip these 2 stitches and chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and single crochet into this first chain 4 loop. We're going to chain 4 again and single crochet into this chain 4 loop, and we're going to chain 4 again, skip these 2 stitches and double crochet into, so we're skipping 1, 2 and double crocheting into the next 4. 2, 3 and 4, and then popping in our corner, 2 double crochet, a chain 3 and 2 double crochet. Again, double crochet into the next 4 stitches, 2, 3 and 4, skipping these 2 stitches, chaining 4, 2, 3, 4, single crochet into the first chain 4 loop, chain 4, single crochet into the next chain 4 loop and chain 4 again. Skip the corresponding stitches on the other side, so the first 2 stitches, and double crochet into the next 4. 2, 3 and 4, and putting in our corner, 1, 2, double crochet, a chain 3 and 2 more double crochet, double crochet in the next 4, skip those 2, chain 4, single crochet in the first chain 4 space, chain 4 again, single crochet in the second chain 4 space and chain 4 again, and skip those 2 stitches, double crochet in the next 4, 3 and 4, and pop in our corner, 2 double crochet, a chain 3 and 2 more double crochet, as we always do. So this is our last half aside. We just need to, you guessed it, double crochet in the next 4 stitches, 2, 3 and 4, chain 4, we're skipping these 2, we're single crocheting into that chain 4 space, chaining 4 again, single crocheting into the next chain 4 space, chaining 4, and once again we are joining to this single crochet that we started and the chain 1, so we need to just pop into that chain 1 space and slip stitch. So after round 6, that is how your piece will be looking, and you can see the lattice is really building up. So in this next round, this is round 7, where we joined, we're actually going to make our single crochet and chain 1. So we just go straight back into that place where we joined. So that's where our join's coming from, this little space here. So we need to just go straight back in there and single crochet and chain 1. And then we need to double crochet in the next 5 stitches. So go into the next stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And put in our corner, 2 double crochet, a chain 3, and 2 more double crochet. And then we are going to double crochet in the next 6 stitches, which is all of these stitches now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we're going to put 2 double crochets into this chain 4 loop. 1 and 2. And chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And single crochet into this middle chain 4 loop. Chain 4. And put 2 double crochet into the chain 4 loop on the other side. 1 and 2. And double crochet into the next 6 stitches on the other side. 3, 4, 5, and 6. And pop in our corner. Two double crochet, a chain 3, and 2 more double crochets. And so we're going to do exactly the same down the other side. We're going to double crochet into the next 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and both loops, and 6. Put 2 double crochets into that chain 4 loop. Chain 4, single crochet into this middle chain 4 loop, chain 4 again, and 2 double crochet into this last chain 4 loop, and pop in our 6 double crochets in the tops of our 6 stitches coming up to the corner. 5 and 6. Put in our corner, 2 double crochet, a chain 3, and 2 double crochet, double crochet in the next 6 stitches, 4, 5, and 6. Put our 2 double crochet in our first chain space, chain 4, single crochet into the next chain space, chain 4, 2 double crochet into the last chain space, and double crochet into the next 6 stitches. It's extremely logical, symmetrical and repetitive. Once you know exactly what the instructions are for one side, you'll be able to carry them on for the rest of the sides. Put in the corner, 2 double crochet, a chain 3 and 2 double crochet as always, and we're on our final half a side, coming back to where we began. So we're crocheting into the next, double crocheting really into the next 6 stitches, losing loops, and we're starting again. Oh dear. Anyway, and at this stage I'm not even counting because I know I just have to put a double crochet into the top of every one, 2 double crochet in the loop, a chain 4, a single crochet into this middle chain space, another chain 4, 2 double crochet into this final loop, 1 and 2, and as we do every round, we are joining to the chain 1 space after this single crochet. Let me flatten that out, and that is what your square will look like after round 7. We only have 2 rounds to go now, so we're almost finished this gorgeous square. In the same space as the join, again, we need to single crochet. So once again, we just go back into where we just joined and single crochet and chain 1. And double crochet in the next 7 stitches. So straight into the next stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Make our corner, 2 double crochet, a chain 3 and 2 more double crochet, and now we need to double crochet into the next 10 stitches. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then we're going to put 2 double crochets in this chain 4 loop, 1 and 2. We're going to chain 1 and put 2 double crochets in the next chain 4 loop. So essentially we've just closed off that lattice work because this is the second final round. The final round is only a single crochet round. So we've put in our 2 double crochets in that chain 4 loop, and then we need just 2 double crochet into the next 10 stitches, which is essentially just every stitch on the other half of this side leading up to the corner. So we don't really need to count, especially if you got all your counts right in your other row. You'll have the right number in this row too. And that's our 10, and then double crochet twice, a chain 3 and 2 more double crochets into our corner as always, double crochet into the next 10. 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then we're putting 2 double crochets into the chain 4 loop, chaining 1 and 2 more double crochets into the next chain 4 loop, and completing the double crochets up that side. So I'll let you finish this round until we get to just here. When you put your, sorry, that's off the camera wasn't even saying that. Go all the way around, putting double crochets into the top of every stitch. Do your corner, 2 double crochets, a chain 3 and 2 double crochets. When you get to the chain 4 spaces, they get 2 double crochets each, separated by a chain 1 only. And when you come back to this point here, just before the join, just pop in your 2 double crochets and I'll meet you back there. Okay, so I'm back here just before the end, and I just need to put my 2 double crochets into this first chain 4 space, do my chain 1 and put my second lot of 2 double crochets in the other chain 4 space. Lose all my loops in the meantime. And now you'll see that there are these 2 stitches. Now, we didn't crochet into those 2 stitches because this is where we joined and we went that way. But these 2 are pretty crucial not to forget to crochet into. So we need to just crochet into these final 2 stitches in this round. And that's never happened before in a round, so it's easy to forget. But they need a stitch each. And then once more, we're going to join into the chain 1 after this single crochet where we began. So just go in there and slip stitch. Now that is essentially your square. The next round, as I said, is actually a single crochet round. And look, you don't have to do it. I do, and that's simply because I think the single crochet, it kind of finishes everything off really nicely. So essentially what we do is single crochet into every stitch around, including the chain 1 spaces that we've put in here. So just giving that 1 single crochet in every time you get to it. And in the corner, we put in 2 single crochet, a chain 3 and 2 more single crochet. So when we do that, actually what happens, just go straight into the next stitch, single crochet. When we put these single crochets in, what actually happens is that it just finishes this square off really nicely, and it gives everything a little bit more solidity in the square. And because, you know, depending on how your tension is, you may not have all those double crochet 100% even, and this single crochet round will just make sure that everything's capped off nicely. Don't forget to crochet into your very first stitch out of the corner, and it just gives it a really nice edge. Plus, when you go to join these squares together, the single crochet gives you a nice even joining surface too. That the double crochet is a little bit baggier, and it's, well, it is fine for joining into. Like I said, you don't have to do this round. The single crochet is just a little bit firmer as a joining surface. So just going into every stitch around, and when we get to this chain 1 space, we're just going to pop a single crochet. I've completely lost the name for that then, and continue into every stitch. And this is the finishing touch on a wonderful square. So continue around doing your single crochet into the top of every stitch around, putting 1 in the chain 1 space and 2 single crochets, a chain 3 and 2 more single crochets into each corner, and I'll meet you back at the end. Okay, that is it. I have just joined to my first single crochet with a slip stitch. You may actually notice that your square curls up a little bit, and that problem would, I mean, it's not really a problem. If you joined them all together, it wouldn't happen. But you might be a blocker. You might like to block your squares, and in which case they will block beautifully. But one of the things that I frequently do is, as I make squares, I just stack them together in a little stack like this, and you know, they might be a little bit curly like that, and then I put a couple of heavy books on them, so that just sits them out completely flat. I very, very rarely block anything, but there you go. So just tying off, and you only have 2 ends to sew in this square, so that's always a bonus. One of the things that I will say about this square is, well, I mean, this looks absolutely gorgeous in the baby pink. Looks beautiful in any colour. But my personal opinion is that kind of rich Victorian colours seem to look a little bit better. So your emerald greens or your royal blues or those deep burgundy colours, they tend to look a little bit better in these squares. But what colour you make it is entirely up to you. Don't let me be judgmental. I do hope you use the Victorian square. If you're a beginner and you are, you know, fairly new to crochet, this is a wonderful square to practice. It uses some really fabulous techniques of that complete symmetry that happens in every quarter of this square, and of course all of the techniques about having 12 stitches in the middle means that the square can be divided into 3 parts of 4. 4 parts of 3. There you go. That's my brain today. So, you know, essentially each of these parts we went 1 corner, 2, 3, 1 corner, 2, 3, 1 corner, 2, 3, and it's just one of those beautifully symmetrical mathematic things. So look, I hope you enjoy this square. I completely adore it. Take a minute to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon next to the subscribe button, because if you set that to all notifications, you will be notified of every video release on this channel. If you have it on personalized, I've found in my YouTubing that I don't tend to get many notifications at all, and that's a bit odd. But I'd love it if you'd subscribe. If you have a comment, please feel free to do so in the comments. You can find the written pattern, the link to the written pattern on Ravelry will be in the description, and I do hope you have a wonderful day. Happy crochet to you all. I'll see you next time.